I'm still feeling like anxious and my anxiety is still high, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just like because I had my therapy session and I did have a conversation with Akina right afterwards, and I started crying and stuff, and she started crying. I didn't want her to feel bad at all. I didn't want her to feel like, you know, crap. You know, she got into an altercation with another girl, and I just gave her my perspective of the situation, and it just brought back so many memories. I don't want to cry again, but it brought back a lot of memories that I had blocked out for years, and sharing my experience and my thought process of why I was the way I am, and it kind of like was similar to the situation with the girl that she got into it with, and I just started crying because, you know, it just brought a lot of memories back that I forgot about, you know. I blocked them out, and I know why I blocked it out, and now I understand why I'm struggling with what I'm struggling with. And a lot of people, you know, have their opinions and they talk their crap, but they really don't know what somebody is struggling with and why they're struggling with it, and why it's hard for them to do the things that is necessary for them to get through the day. I didn't want to cry. And I appreciate the person that commented a while back when I admitted that, you know, I'm struggling with self-care and I'm struggling with hygiene, because they said that they recognized it too, and they didn't want to say anything, but and now that I'm doing trauma therapy, I'm starting to understand why behind the reason why I'm struggling with it. And a lot of things I kept saying it was the miscarriage, but honestly, a lot of it is not the miscarriage. Like, I think in my mind, I thought that's what it was, but realistically, that wasn't the problem. And I'm working towards doing better. I will say I'm proud of myself because the last 3 days I actually brushed my teeth, and I took a shower. Typically I can go weeks without doing anything, and I know you guys noticed that too. When I wear sweaters and hoodies and stuff, I was trying to hide the fact that I was not being me. I was trying to hide the fact that I was wearing the same clothes for weeks at a time, and just be kind to people. Be kind, because you never know what somebody is struggling with. And you know, it doesn't bother me that people talk about it or talk about me in that way. What bothers me is the fact that I'm drowning. And people think that, like, the healing process is so easy, but really it's facing the dark side. It's facing your ego. It's facing the bad parts of yourself that you never wanted to admit. And in most cases, you're staring at yourself in the mirror and you hate yourself. You blame yourself. And It's hard sometimes. But I'm working on it. And this is why I share what I shared. This is why I am the way I am, because I feel like, why should I be ashamed of sharing something that so many people are dealing with? And Imani, yes, I'm talking to you, because you have no idea how much it means to me that you share so much about mental health, and it makes me feel like I'm not alone, and why I continue to share my story, why I continue to share the ugly. I can't say this is the real, this is the raw. It's not. This is the ugly part of healing. This is the ugly part of mental illness. And I'm going to continue to share it because I know at the end things are going to be different. Things are going to get better. And it's just, I have to sit through this. I have to sit through the anxiety, even though my doctor said not to chase it and just take the meds if I need to. But I also feel like it's my responsibility to work through the issues that I'm dealing with and to face the issues and dig deeper and do the shadow work and face myself and force myself to understand why was I struggling with hygiene when I was never like this. I was never that type of person. And I think after having a Zara and having the seizures, I think that's what opened my mind up to a lot of the trauma that I blocked out and ignored. And I never told you guys that because I didn't want you guys to worry about it or anything like that. But I've had seizures with Journey and Araya and Zara after I give birth. And it's not easy. It really does change you. And the last time I had the seizure, that's when I made the decision to get my tubes removed, because I never want to experience that again. Like, it's so traumatic that you have to leave your 1 or 2 week old baby, and in my case, a few days old, not even 2 days old, to go back into the hospital because your blood pressure is so high that you have a seizure. Now, after the first experience with Journey, now I'm aware of what like the feeling of a seizure coming on, but I don't want to experience that ever again. I don't. It's traumatic. You feel guilty. You feel like a bad mom. You hate yourself because you're not there for your babies. So yeah, I'm not. That was the #1 reason why I got my tubes removed, was because of the seizures, because of it being high risk, and it's just not worth it. As much as I would love to have as many kids as I want, regardless if I can afford them or not, I would love to have more, but my body can't handle it. My mind, my body, my soul, it can't handle the pregnancy, and it can't handle the postpartum. And even Nana knew it. Like, she knew I was dealing with postpartum after I had a Zara, and me being in denial like always. It wasn't what I expected. So yeah, right now I know a lot of people are asking me what medication I'm on, and I'm on Seroquel. I don't know how to say the other word, but I'm gonna try Lambotringin, I think it's called, and Klonopin. And the Klonopin is for the instant, like, it's supposed to help instantly with anxiety, which is why in the other video I mentioned how I might talk to my doctor about increasing my dosage, because when my anxiety is super high, it's the worst. Like, and I don't know if I talked to you guys about this before, but when we went to the funeral on Saturday, and we got to the burial site, like, I just broke down, and I tried the different coping skills that I've been taught, and it just wasn't working. So I had no choice but to take the medication, but I didn't want to because I wanted to face why it was so hard for me to get out the car and go to the burial site. And I mean, now I know why, but in that moment I couldn't think straight. I was afraid, I was worried, I was shaking, I was crying. But now I understand why. Because I remember my dad's funeral. I remember the burial, the ceremonies, everything. Not to mention friends that I lost over the years that were my age, and going to their funerals, and other family members that I was close to that I couldn't even go to their funerals. And all this time I thought it was like, I'm not going to funerals because it's a religious situation, when in reality I just can't. I can't face that fear of losing somebody else again. And I know I'm not afraid of death myself. I'm afraid of losing people. That's the part that I'm afraid of. And I know that's from feeling like I was abandoned as a child, because I still hoard some emotions about that when it comes to my father, because he died when I was 5, and soon after my mom wasn't in my life for like 7 years. So it is kind of like a sense of abandonment, and so I'm trying to work through it. And I know it's not gonna happen overnight. Y'all are gonna get more videos like this, tons more videos like this about the process and what I'm struggling with. And of course, for the ones that can't handle it, you know, I don't hold any judgment if you can't watch the video. I don't hold any judgment whatsoever, because this is triggering. This is a lot for people that can't, and some people can't handle it. And I know that now, that people cannot handle the trauma they experience, and that's why they become addicted to drugs, and that's why they become addicted to alcohol or any other form of easy addiction, like eating and caffeine and cigarettes. Like, some people just can't face it, and there's just no judgment on my end, because you guys are not judging me, so how am I in the right to judge you? Alright, this went longer than I expected, so I guess this is gonna be a whole other video separate from this, what I intentionally wanted to do. So I hope you guys are doing great, and just know that you are amazing. Your mental health, illness, whatever, is not easy.